Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Crazy Train. Today we're going to have a little look at the wacky and weird abstract entities known as the Elsewhere Gods. These beings are named as such because their origin is completely shrouded in mystery and myth, and the only thing really known for certain about them is that they are not of this world or dimension. Thus, they are referred to as coming from elsewhere, which was originally just a simple turn of phrase, but has now come to encapsulate the name for the plane or world that these entities do in fact come from. The vast majority of them are not mentioned in any of the prophecies or histories of O, and perform peculiar tasks or exercises such as the first of the bunch, Metra. Metra is one of the weirdest of the pantheon because of the fact that he, she, or it does not interact with anyone or anything in any meaningful way other than transubstantiating for a brief moment to observe objects, people, or places before then evaporating back into the elsewhere. Because of this strange behavior, the citizens of O have attributed Metra as being the god of questions, curiosity, and quietness. As time has gone on, and the sightings of Metra have become more frequent, a group of people known as the Cult of Metra have begun worshipping the entity. They have ascertained through one misinformed way or another that Metra's function is to measure and observe all aspects of existence. As such, they rove around the continent with an assortment of rulers and measuring instruments, fanatically tabulating their findings in their Bible, known as the Book of Abacus. They also invoke this deity through rituals of meditation, asceticism, and abstinence. The other denizens of O believe these cultists to be madmen because of the simple fact that Metra has never and will never even acknowledge their existence, let alone their divinely orchestrated mission. The second god of the pantheon is Kilo, the goddess of pockets, in-betweens, and lost things. This preliminary sketch is very, very rough, as I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to render or represent Kilo. I've thought about having it appear as a series of disembodied hands materializing out of 100 little portals, but I'm not entirely sure. So for now, Kilo is this strange humanoid quadruped with a continually multiplying assortment of arms and hands growing out of its back that haul around an exponentially expanding array of objects. Some have said they have lost loved ones to Kilo's cargo, as she lured them into her grasp by showing them treasured objects of their pasts or desired artifacts of their future. Either way, Kilo is every bit as strange and nonsensical as the items she hoards. The idea of Kilo is also used to keep children from wandering astray by parents who warn that if they are not careful, they can end up as Kilo's cargo, similar to the way in which we use the boogeyman. In any case, I'd really like some ideas for this one because, as I've mentioned, I've struggled a bit with how exactly Kilo should appear. Feel free to leave some ideas in the comments section because I'd be super happy for some collaboration in this regard. The third Elsewhere god is one of the few that is mentioned in the histories of O, and also one of the few that takes up an almost near permanent residency within O's dimensional plane. This is, of course, Titan, the god of cycles, seconds, and eternity. Titan is hailed as being the steward of time and immortality. It presides over the icy tundras in the north of the continent known as the clock frosts. Many travelers in search of eternal life have wandered aimlessly about the frozen desert in search of the hourglass glaciers and the famed Temple of Endless Seconds, where Titan is said to bestow everlasting time to those it deems worthy. However, what most do not know about this so-called blessing is that Titan both literally and figuratively freezes these would-be immortals in a state of perpetual temporal inertia, never being able to traverse or progress through time ever again. Titan appears as a three-headed spectral owl, with each head looking into a different temporal direction. At the centre of each of its heads, ornate phantom clock hands ceaselessly tick and tock amidst its glacial domain. Titan was named as such because the genus of the real-world barn owl, which I took inspiration from in its design, is Titanidae. Also because I like that it is a homophone of the word Titan, which has many real-world mythological implications and associations. The last elsewhere god that I have so far is Dikos, the god of paradoxes, quagmires, and simultaneity. In this image, I have rendered Dikos as appearing stuck in the transubstantiating process, and as such, he is in O and the elsewhere plane simultaneously. Dikos is particularly hard to render because of all the paradoxical elements that are fundamental to his nature. He dies and is also born, walks forward and walks backwards, is silent and speaking harmonically and dissonantly all at once. Thankfully for the denizens of O, most of the opposing circumstances of his actions are actually reflected in the elsewhere plane, without them ever being observable in the plane of O. However, for Dikos himself, he is plagued by his awareness of every contradictory and paradoxical action or event occurring at the same time. And yet, Dikos is anything but helpless. When threatened or offended, Dikos is capable of inflicting instantaneous and complete paralyzing madness by temporarily burdening an attacker with a fraction of his paradoxical awareness. This ability is called the poison of choice, as every decision or action that the attacker makes has its negating event enacted with equal circumstantial validity. In other words, every action's opposite reaction occurs at the same time with as much reality, if that makes any sense. It's really hard to talk about paradoxes and make sense, but we're giving it a whirl. He is also one of the elsewhere gods that is capable of wielding the fabric of elsewhere to construct impossible objects with unimaginable geometries and mind-bending side effects. I have a few other ideas for elsewhere gods to add to the pantheon, and I would very much like to get any contribution or concepts from you guys as to how I should render them or how they should function. Some of the ideas I have are Stigma, the god of punishment, shame, and masochism, and Ether, the god of delusions, delirium, and drunkenness. If anyone has any other ideas for abstract gods that they would like to see added to the pantheon, feel free to mention them in the comments, and I will be sure to credit you if I decide to adopt them. As always, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys and love to hear from you. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next installment.